Truth team, y'all been asking me, and here I am. I'm finally gonna break down a BMF case. And you already know how I get down, man. We're gonna get into the paperwork. We're gonna call it for what it is, per the paperwork, though, you know? So without further ado, Hookah, help me out.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Hookah Anonymous, and you are now rocking with Mickey Truth. She live up to her name, not the fame. So make sure y'all subscribe to her channel and stay updated on what's real. Bye.
Coming from where I come from, they doubted me, but I came up. I made it through the storm, trying to conquer the world. I made it through the storm, trying to conquer the world. Coming from where I come from, they doubted me, but I came up. I made it through the storm, trying to conquer the world. I made it through the storm, trying to conquer the world.
Good reporting ass Mickey.
We love you, Mickey.
So what's up? It's your girl Mickey Truth, aka Mickey Facts, and I'm back with another video. As always, y'all, all information contained in this video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. All information used in this video is per the Fair Use Act, and any conclusions that you draw is on you and not me. So let's get it. So y'all may be wondering, Mickey, I thought you said you wasn't gonna look into the BMF case. And then I'm like, yeah, I wasn't. But shout out to Getty Radio, because he actually brought it to my attention. And he was like, yeah, you didn't see, the headlines with stuff as far as social media. And I'm like, no, what's up? So he shared some of the footage to me that was posted with Whack 100 and Blue Da Vinci. And I'm like, yo, not a YSL type thing with snitches. All right, let me check it out. So that's how I got into it. And when I say I've been up since last night, digging, and y'all already know your girl is definitely going to connect the dots. So with that being said, it's definitely a lot of pieces to the story. So I'm just going to make this part one, okay? So as far as part one, we're going to look into no other than, the topic of conversation these days, Tammy Collins, who is I want to say she's like a executive producer on the BMF series with 50 Cent. Well, that's the topic. Let's start. So, I'm going to start with allegedly, okay? Because we are on YouTube. But per Google search of Tammy Collins, she is not only the executive producer of BMF the series, she is a power of attorney of Demetrius Meech Flannery, and she has the life rights to the story of BMF. And she's also the CEO of BMF Inc. Yes. And I'm going to definitely break that down with paperwork. But just to, set the stage. Now, I'm going to play a clip. And then I'm going to come back. And then we're going to talk about it.
All right. Tammy Collins is now the executive producer of the BMF show. The BMF Star Show. She has Meech rights. I was doing this show, so when T was locked up, T asked me to call her. I blindly called her, and she just immediately went off on me. Like, what the hell? I'm on probation. By this time, it was like 13, 14. And the next day after that conversation, I get called down to my probation officer. I'm looking at my young son because this has never happened to me. I've been on probation a couple of years now, like, what's going on? So I told my youngest son, when I called him, I said, hey, come over here. I got my probation officer called me. I got to go turn myself in. Not turn myself in. I said, I got to go see her. And he said, what's going on? I said, I don't know. She told me she's giving me an hour to get there. I get down to my probation officer, my son in the car. I said, if I don't come out in a couple of hours, call the lawyer. I get in there. Tammy Collins is a government informant. So she says, my probation officer is sitting there, and some other guy. I can't remember his name, but I just knew he was part of the DEA. And I come in, I go in, I'm like, fuck. This is everybody's nightmare. I already did my time. Only thing I wanted to come home and do is take care of myself, take care of my family, make amends for my mother, redeem myself through, the world, or anybody that I felt like I affected. So they tell me, he says, you know what this is about? And I said, no. He said, well, you threatened a government informant, and that's a federal offense.
If you don't know who that was Tanisha Welch. If you don't know who that is, she's AKA Terry Flannery's old lady, AKA the Trap Queen herself. Definitely check out her episode on Trap Queens on BET. Now, hearing that clip matched into something I heard from Getty Radio. Again, shout out to Getty Radio, because that's who tapped me in to really want to even touch BMF story. All right. So he put me on to a video in regards to Blue Da Vinci, aka the Atlanta-based rapper who was affiliated with BMF. I guess an interview that he did where he stated that Tammy Collins was a snitch or informant. So I'm going to play that, and then we're going to break it down.
It's all in that paperwork. They admitted that they had the sexual relationship and everything, so it was fucked up the whole case. Now it's infidelity in the case. They can't take the bitch's statements and shit no more because she didn't fuck the agent. You feel me? So they threw it out. That's why Meech never got out. But now people are like, well, then why did the other dude still get time then? If Meech didn't get out and it got thrown out, why did the dude get 25 years? Because they did a superseding indictment and he got in trouble for something that they heard during the wiretap that didn't have nothing to do with that drug deal. So the other people didn't get in trouble for this. This is something that he did on his own time. And they locked up him and some other people for that, for a murder of a government witness that they heard it happen on his phone. So they just did a superseding indictment while, since they heard it and they was finna all get off. He felt like they wanted him anyway more than the Mexican mafia do. They were trying to pin him anyway. They wanted Cuff. That's how he feel. You feel me? So as soon as they had him, they like, oh yeah, we finna nail Cuff ass. And they got down on him. Right when that shit went bad for Meech and them and the shit was all going out of court, if people realize, man, in 2018, it started going viral that Big Meech was finna come home from jail. All right. It was like March or May 24th or something like that, 2018. It was going viral right before Barack Obama came out of office. Some people were saying that Barack was finna give him a pardon. Some people were saying that, he was getting out for other reasons, COVID and all of this shit. But then he never got out and they just stopped saying it. It just went away from the internet. And during that time of that push of that, for shit like that to go viral, it's got to get inserted to the bloodstream of the internet. It takes some powerful shit for that to happen. You just can't post something and it's just viral. You know what I'm saying? The shit don't really work like that. You know what I'm saying? So it was a powers that be behind that marketing campaign of him coming home, but he ended up not coming home. And then once you look at the paperwork and see how shit read, they don't get no leniency for the shit because the people didn't get convicted of the charge for the drugs and the money that was found during that investigation. So that's why he's still sitting there. And that's why people will argue all day like, oh, he ain't do shit, man. Why he still in jail then? If he worked with the people, he would have got out. And all this shit is you got to understand and read. That's why you got paperwork. You can't guess and assume. I didn't know none of this shit at one point in time until the young lady called me talking about Uncle Meech is a rat. And I'm like, what? Hold on, watch your motherfucking mouth. Like, what you talking about? You got to have some paperwork before you say shit like that. Shit, she got me that paperwork.
Dang, that's a whole lot to take in. So, hey, you heard it from Blue Da Vinci. That's what it is. Now, in this video, Cape Capone, shout out to him. He's on YouTube. Y'all go check it out. I'm going to put the link to the full interview in the description. He put the link to the paperwork, okay? Now, y'all already know Mickey do not take other people's paperwork, but I did read it, right? And then, like I always tell y'all, it's always a document number on all the papers that you get if it's official, right? So, I basically just took the document number and I went and looked at it in Pacer. So, we're going to chop it up. Now, unlike, Blue Da Vinci, I'm sorry. I have to follow the trail because I read that document says a lot, but, okay, that document was from 2018. This case started in 2014, so I can't start in 2018. I got to take it back so I can really understand the picture. So if y'all ready, let's get into it. We're starting with Tammy Collins. Just a little disclaimer, y'all. Y'all already know I'm unbiased when it comes to all type of situations like this. Hey, if it's in the paperwork, it's in the paperwork. I ain't make nobody put no info in no paperwork. It is what it is. Just want to throw that out there. So with that being said, Blue Da Vinci, sir, you left a part out of your story. One thing that I always say in all my videos when we're covering people being labeled as rats or informants or whatnot, make sure your face is clean. Now, this is new to me, may not be new to you, but according to, and I'm going to say this, if you look at a document that Blue Da Vinci provided to Cape Capone, and you look at that case number is going to lead you to Dion Gatlin, aka Cuff. In that same case file, it is a document labeled 40. So in this 406 document, which are transcripts, the witness at this time is labeled as CS1, okay? In this same document, if you come on down, they're basically asking CS1, criminal source 1, how does, they have a relationship with Meech, right? So they go on and say, yeah, man, in 2002, 2003, whatever. So the lawyer says, oh, you actually was introduced to Mr. Flannery by his mother, right? She said no, by Barima McKnight. Then the question was like, I'm sorry? The answer, Barima McKnight. And the question, Barima McKnight? And she was a friend of yours? And the answer, he is a friend of mine. So in my mind, I'm like, well, who the hell is Barima McKnight, right? So a quick Google search. Like I said, Google does help you sometimes, most times. Well, Barima McKnight is known to the urban music industry as Blue Da Vinci. And that is on Google, right? And I'm like, well, hold up. Didn't Blue Da Vinci say that she was an informant? And he was the one who actually introduced the lady to Meech. So what the world is going on, right? So now my spider senses are tingling because I'm like, oh, this story about to be bigger than I thought. So let's get into this. Blue Da Vinci, you brought the paperwork to light. You made a statement. I have to check your paperwork. I'm sorry. Hopefully it checks out. I doubt you'll come forward with some stuff like that and you ain't clean. So let's take it back. And let's put Blue Da Vinci on the spot and see what's really going on. According to a federal indictment, Blue Da Vinci, a.k.a. Barima McKnight, was charged in 2008. He did take a negotiated plea where he served 64 months plus 5-year supervised release plus $100 assessment fee, okay? Now, I want to point out something interesting to me, and I would like for my truth team members to let me know exactly what this means. On the indictment, it does show that his name was redacted at some point, right? And not everybody on there was redacted, but definitely he was included, and then it shows a clear copy of it. What does that mean? Y'all let me know in the comments, definitely, okay? Now, I want to bring y'all to something here. I always tell y'all, my pieces to the puzzle definitely play a part in the transcripts, because guess what? Unlike paperwork, according to some people, can be interpreted differently. Transcripts, they literally write or type what you say. Hey, y'all already know I'm definitely going to pull the document. So I want y'all to understand what I'm about to say is coming from document 467, which are the transcripts from Blue Da Vinci's case, which was filed December 30th, 2008, okay? And if you start at line 2 on page 26, this is what it says. The court. Mr. McKnight, come up and stand behind the podium if you would. Then at line 4, somebody by the name of Mr. Matsky or something like that start talking. And this is what he says. As he comes up, Your Honor, I did leave one thing out. You had asked some of the other defendants whether or not they had corroborated. Mr. McKnight was one of the individuals who did attempt to corroborate. Oh, huh? No. No. What? Okay, let's run back. Maybe I'm tripping. I'm going to keep reading. He was debriefed by the government, but basically he didn't know anything that was useful against the remaining defendants. So that happened before last week. It was months ago, that debriefing, and then we did the safety valve one earlier this week. He would have liked to corroborate if he could, but unfortunately, he did not have really any useful information. Blue Da Vinci? What? Hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. It's funny to me, right? Because how can you put somebody else on blast for being an informant when you was trying to corroborate? And ain't informants basically rats? And ain't people who corroborate basically rats? I'm just saying. Now, I'm not going to put that jacket on them. But hey, y'all read the documents, okay? I'm going to call it for what it is. Definitely sound like you gave some statements. The police just didn't find it useful. So I'm going to put this question on. Y'all let me know in the chat. If you wanted to corroborate, right? The government said you wanted to corroborate, but the information that you have just wasn't useful. Does that still mean you corroborated? Y'all let me know in the chat, man. Yeah. All right. So it then further goes on in the transcripts to basically ask if he wanted to make a statement. He did want to make a statement, and he just went on to say, hey, I'm sorry for this, sorry for that. Okay. He does say here that it was hard for him being in jail. He watched someone, kill themselves, all that. Now, what I want to point out here, and I want to pose this question, is this technically possibly telling or is it not? Okay. And this is what it says. It says here that Demetrius did not show me that part of his world when I met him. And I got into like a big brother, little brother relationship with this guy as far as entertainment is concerned. I met him in the end of 98, 99, 2000, 2001. I came to know this man without even knowing the other side of his life. 2002, I did get above my head, The end of 2003, 2004, they said, he ordered me to stay away from anything illegal they were doing. That's what I did ever since 2004. I just pursued my career. I actually released my debut album and stuff like that, okay? So back into document 406, okay? If you pull up that document and go down to page 53 and start at line, let's say 6, okay? It's going to say, and this is, again, CS1. So I'm not going to read the document verbatim. However, I'm going to just kind of give you the summary of it, okay? So on page 53, it says that CS1 confirms that they became a confidential informant for the DEA about 2009. Their original contact to become a confidential informant was with Jake Harvey. Jake Harvey was a DEA agent in Atlanta, Georgia. And it then said that, so CS1 then goes to confirm that they began to be a paid informant about April 2009. They then go on to say their handler was Jake Harvey and that the first case that they were involved in was Terry Bernard White, okay? And it also says that they worked on that case for well over a year. Now, it then goes to say, without going into specifics, let me ask you this. At the time you signed up or anytime thereafter, did you have a criminal record? And have you ever been arrested or charged or convicted of crimes? And the answer was no, sir. So, y'all, it's so much paperwork, like for sure, right? But it doesn't state why she actually was contacted by the DEA originally, right? Like, do they just draw a name out of a hat and say, hey, let me go see if she's going to be an informant or he's going to be an informant? So, it got to be something that we don't know yet that tied this person into being contacted by the DEA. But you already know your girl gonna work on it. Just for now, the purpose of this video is to see, is CS1 actually Tammy Collins or was Blue Da Vinci CS1? I definitely couldn't help myself adding that in there, but nevertheless, let's continue. So also continue on in the same document, document 406. It says that CS1 was actually setting up and conspiring with Hispanics, okay? And I don't know about y'all, but when I first heard, I heard definitely the cartel. That's what I took from it. But we'll get into more details about that later, okay? Now, further in this same document, y'all know I done came a long way from when I started. I did a simple search feature to find a particular word. And you know what I typed in there? I typed in Demetrius, okay? And a couple hits came up, including a conversation where it said that CS1 is telling them that the conversation was to, if they remained on once Jake Harvey retired, would that help Big Meech get his time cut, okay? And that is listed in the transcripts now. Y'all, this story is just massive, okay? When I say it's so many stories within the story, that's why I have to break it down in parts. So this is definitely part 1, and then I'm going to bring it to a close. All right? So y'all, I'm going to holler at y'all. So, I know people like, wait, hold up, Mickey. You ain't even answer the question. Is the person named Tammy Collins, who is executive producer on BMF, the show that works hand in hand with 50 Cent, right? That's over the life rights of Big Meech, as it said, right? That's over all this. is she really an informant, right? Now, I can't technically confirm or deny. What I can do is just give you what I found in my research. And then, like I said in the beginning of the video, the rest is up to you. Now, boom, follow me, okay? A search of bankruptcy records for Georgia brings up someone by the name of Tammy Cowins Tejada. Y'all know Tejadas, like the Tejadas from the Ghost 2 series with Tyreek. You know, Mary J. Blige's character is a Tejada. Well, Tammy Cowins is a Tejada too. Not sure if she dropped it, but according to this bankruptcy document back in 2012, she definitely had that last name. Now, nevertheless, let me stay focused. That was just a fun fact. So this document lists her as BMF Entertainment LLC's owner, which is based out of Georgia, right? So I further go back into the transcripts 406, right? And guess what it says there? Well, it says here in the questioning, CS1 is asked, at some point in time was the entity BMF LLC registered? And the CS1 responds, yes, about 2008, 2009. Huh? What? So hold on. Per the bankruptcy documents, this person named Tammy Cowins Tejada registered BMF Entertainment LLC in Georgia, right? In 2008. It matches up to what it says in the transcript. So you can assume, possibly, allege, possibly, guess, possibly, that CS1 could be Tammy Collins. But y'all already know how I feel. I got to, without a doubt, be able to at least draw a conclusion, in my opinion, my, assumption, allegedly, before I do something like that. Well, if y'all recall, I brought up the name Terry White as being the first alleged person that was taken down by CS1. Well, I pulled the case files. So I will say this before I get into the actual document. Federal document wording can be kind of like, it's either going to say, yeah, you told, yes, you corroborated, yeah, da-da-da. But it's more so in the transcripts, okay? However, in this case, a document was filed that said the following. It says, CS1 providing lion's shares of information for the finding of probable cause, okay? And it also says that the defendant, Terry White, believes his girlfriend, Tammy Collins, is CS1, okay? And I'm going to just go ahead and tie the loops here, all right? Further in the document in 406, the transcripts, CS1 goes to say and explain how she knows Terry White, okay? It is said in that document that was a boyfriend. They had a sexual relationship. And guess what? Guess what, y'all? In that case, she was paid $80,000, right? You would think, just to be an informant, you think that's what it was for? Well, according to 406, it was actually because when the house was seized, she left jewelry in the house that was not returned to her. So not only did she get paid for being an informant for it, but they also reimbursed her for, guess what, the jewelry. Oh my gosh. Now again, I can't confirm, I can't deny. I can just tell you my trail and what it is. Like T-Money say, you got to call a spade a spade. If it add up, if the math is math, and it is what it is. What y'all think? Do y'all think that's who CS1 is? In the case of Cuff as brought to the forefront from Blue Da Vinci? Y'all let me know in the comments. Now, I'm going to close out, but definitely more parts coming. Yes. I'm going to get into the actual case of Cuff. I'm going to get into, did Big Meech actually snitch or corroborate or set up or whatever word you want to kind of tie into the story? I'm going to get into a lot of things. I will leave this out here for y'all, okay? Just for the other bloggers or, just let your mind wander. It was not only a CS1. Guess what? It was a CS2. And guess what? That is also a female. And the pot thickens. So, y'all, for real this time, I'm closing out. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a friend. And catch me on Clubhouse tonight because guess what? We're going to definitely talk about it. So until next time, holla.
I took the hard way. I ain't asking a nigga for nothing. I threw the hard way. Hard way. Hard way. My heart to this day. I'm really with it. My feelings in it. So please, bitch, don't play. I took the hard way. I ain't asking a nigga for nothing. I threw the hard way. Hard way. Hard way, my heart to this day. I'm really with it, my feelings in it, so please, bitch, don't play. Hey.